Tonight, an officer killed in the line of duty is remembered in Kitchener. The impact Constable Taryn Bali had on Waterloo Region, and
he was going in the extra mile in service to the people of Ontario when he was tragically killed.
The latest on the investigation into his death. Social media ban.
I think it's a good idea. I think the amount of time people spend on their phone now is ridiculous.
Details of the government's plan to keep kids under 16 off the platforms. And
most kids are still going to find a way, that's probably what they'll do.
How it's landing with them. Plus, thinking outside the city. A Guelph organization helping to fight hunger widens its search for a new home. Good evening. We are learning more about an Ontario provincial police officer who was killed in the line of duty yesterday. Constable Taryn Bali used to work as a bylaw officer for the city of Kitchener. The mayor put out a statement about this earlier today. Let's go to City Hall now. CTV's Colton Weens standing by live with us. Colton, the 29-year-old worked for the city of Kitchener up until just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. Bali was originally from Brampton and started working in the city of Kitchener, joining the bylaw enforcement team in 2021. And he remained in that position until 2023. And then in 2023, he started pursuing work with the Ontario Provincial Police. Flags are being lowered outside all city buildings until Bali's memorial service. The OPP Association says Bali had only been with the force for 2.5 years. Bali was assigned to the Dufferin detachment in Orangeville. He had been working out of the James Bay detachment. Bali was killed while trying to stop a vehicle in the Hearst area yesterday. The driver that hit him has been arrested and charged. Kitchener Mayor Barry Verbanovic says Bali will be fondly remembered by his Kitchener colleagues for his strong work ethic, positive attitude, infectious smile, and warm and approachable personality. Adding he made a lasting impression on those around him, and his kindness and dedication will not be forgotten. Now again, flags are being lowered outside all city buildings until Bali's memorial service. Funeral arrangements have not yet been announced. Tony.
Okay, Colton, thank you. CTV's Colton Weens live outside Kitchener City Hall tonight. And there was a solemn procession down Highway 400 this afternoon as Constable Bali's body was brought to the office of the chief coroner in Toronto. The 18-year-old accused in his death also made a first court appearance. CTV's Janice Golding now with details.
Grim-faced first responders lined the route to the chief coroner's office today, a silent show of solidarity for a fallen officer.
We're brothers and sisters in arms, for lack of better words. We all serve the public and the community together, so it's very important for the three of us to be here to honor our fallen.
Paramedics alongside OPP and police from services across the GTHA gathering on Sir William Hurst Boulevard in a moving demonstration of respect and brotherhood, acknowledging OPP Constable Taryn Bali's service and sacrifice. The 29-year-old was killed over the noon hour yesterday, struck while trying to stop a vehicle in Hearst, Ontario, some 9.5 hours northwest of Toronto.
The accused fled from a hospital where he was being assessed under the authority of the Mental Health Act, and his officers attempted to safely apprehend the accused. Our officer was struck by a motor vehicle and killed while that motor vehicle was being driven by the accused.
Constable Bali, who originally hailed from Brampton, was a rookie police officer with just 2.5 years on the job.
He volunteered to fill a backfill in Northern Ontario to take on some difficult work. He wanted to help others and to see someone who just had a good heart, who he was so young, had such a bright future ahead of him. It's heartbreaking.
Police officers have an opportunity to go up north to places like James Bay and do deployments for a period of time. It's kind of extra work for them, and they help with staffing shortages and things like that up in the north. So he was going in the extra mile in service to the people of Ontario when he was tragically killed.
The 18-year-old accused in this case was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, assaulting an officer, dangerous driving, and flight from police. The accused made his first court appearance while Constable Bally's journey to the coroner's office began. His body flown from Hearst to Lake Simcoe Regional Airport northeast of Barrie this afternoon before a police convoy made its way south on the 400 to Toronto.
I think all emergency service personnel have a duty to perform protecting the public. And when one of our friends and allied agencies get hurt, then we're here to support them.
A stark reminder of the perils of the job reverberating through the policing community. Officers gathered in a tremendous show of support at a time of tremendous sadness.
And that report from CTV's Janice Golding. Okay, time now to look at our weather forecast. Our first look at weather. Ashley Bacon is in studio with us with all the details. A little less threatening out there today as far as rain and storms go, but the heat is on.
It is muggy out there, Tony. And earlier in the week, we talked about humidity a little bit, or it could have even been last week. You know, days are kind of coming together now as summer approaches, but it was definitely humid out there today. And you know what? We're not out of the woods yet when it comes to that turbulent weather. Now, let's start with our Environment Canada's alerts board. Just in the last minute or two, we had a secondary alert pop up for the Windsor area. Now, that is a yellow warning for a severe thunderstorm that's currently passing through. So if you're in the Windsor area and there's some turbulent weather going on at the moment, make sure to take shelter and be safe. Now, that area, including Sarnia and all of that in yellow, is also under a heat warning. That's extended into tomorrow, where we could see heat values of Humidex up to 41 degrees. So it's going to be another hot day out there. Right now, 26 degrees in Waterloo region, a westerly wind at 22 kilometers an hour, but feeling closer to 34, Tony. Now, how long will this extended heat last, and what will the weather bring with it? I'll have those details coming up a little later.
Okay, Ash, thank you very much. More tonight on a story we first brought you yesterday, one that's making international headlines about a pilot who captained planes with hundreds of people aboard without having the proper license. As CTV's John Woodward reports, an update to the security of those licenses may have been a factor in catching him.
That is a very serious matter, and we're treating it extremely seriously.
The case of Jeffrey Wall reverberating on Parliament Hill as politicians watch the story of the Canadian pilot who didn't have his license ricochet around the world, making headlines in New York, Ghana, even India.
I'm grateful that this person was caught, but this person perpetrated, allegedly, a fraud on his employer. And by extension on the people that are entrusted to his care.
A fraud the police say was 17 years in the making. Officers saying Tuesday he flew over 900 flights in Air Canada's biggest jets since 2009 without the airline transport pilot license he needed. By all accounts, Wall, who once flew for the Canadian Forces, passed his checks.
There's the legal aspect, which he will have to answer for, and then there's the operational side and the competency side, in which case he met all the requirements.
He said in a personal essay he started working for Air Canada in 1998, writing, "I still remember thinking there was no way I'd get the job, but I took the chance and it led to a 25-year career. I flew DC-9s, Airbus 320s, Embraers, 767s, 787s, and retired off the Boeing 777. At that time, the airline transport pilot license was just on paper.
It used to be a piece of paper, and they converted it to a few years ago, much like, I don't know if you see the old passport, Canadian passport, then a new one. Similar transition to more safety involved into preventing fraud.
The recent improvements, perhaps a factor in why his license was flagged last year.
Our pilots are very professional at Air Canada.
Wall did sit down for this interview with Canada AM in 2015 during the period when police said he didn't have his license. But this week, he's not responded to messages. John Woodward, CTV News.
The lease is coming to an end for a group of charities in Guelph that help bring food to those who need it most. The search is on now for a new space, but the organizations say they're willing to be creative to find an option that works. CTV's Jeff Pickle is live with more on this. And Jeff, these groups running into the same problems really as anyone who's trying to buy a property.
Well, Tony, land and building is a very expensive endeavor. And when you're working to pinch every penny to help families and kids in need, you sometimes have to think outside the box to find a solution. So the Children's Foundation of Guelph and Wellington and the Guelph Community Health Center are exploring every opportunity.
Filling orders for members of the community who can access sliding scale pricing.
It's a large space with a grand purpose.
Come on in.
This warehouse on Huron Street, not far from downtown Guelph, is a piece of critical infrastructure for the Children's Foundation and the Seed Guelph.
We are kind of the centralized logistics hub and distribution hub for the community. We operate across Guelph and Wellington. In 2025, the Seed moved $3.6 million in food through the community.
Helping feed thousands of family and kids every day, this is where the food comes in before it's packed up and delivered.
And we have a stream where we're feeding kids in schools through our student nutrition programs and also at home on the weekends for those kids who are really in very extreme food insecure homes.
The use of the warehouse, a gift from the Wood Development Group, but their days here are numbered, needing to be out in the next 2 years.
Although we've had a great partnership with our landlord, Wood Development Group, for the past 6 years, this specific site is slated for redevelopment, and so we know that we have to find a new home.
This week, the charities went to Guelph Council to explore an opportunity to set up a new charitable hub just outside the city boundary on Elmira Road, a property also owned by Wood Development.
We are looking at that opportunity. We continue to explore lots of options. This really isn't about one option.
Council raised a number of concerns about the location sitting outside the city of Guelph, but the group says they are looking to speak with anyone with land who can help.
We're looking for a partner. If you have land, if you have space, we are both looking for short-term locations to meet our needs, but also longer-term locations that meet our kind of vision of really integrating food and supports and other services.
With over 200 volunteers working to get food to people who need it, they desperately need a new location to call home. And the group says the size and cost of the location is the most important aspect because it acts more as a distribution center than a pickup location. It can be located further away from the downtown area. And again, they say if you have land or a building, they'd love to chat. Tony?
Jeff, thank you. CTV's Jeff Pickle reporting. The federal government's new online safety bill was introduced in the House of Commons this afternoon. It would force social media platforms to block access for kids under 16.
In 2023, there were 19,000 incidents of online child sex exploitation in Canada, which is a 500% increase in a few short years. Reports also show that online luring of children is on the rise. As a result of all this, kids exposed to this have a 4 times higher incidence of ideation and suicidal thoughts.
The bill would regulate companies behind AI chatbots by requiring them to act responsibly. That would include measures such as crisis intervention protocols. The legislation would also create a new regulator. The bill covers 7 types of content. They include inducing self-harm, inciting violence, promoting hatred, and non-consensual intimate content. Here in Waterloo Region, we are hearing from parents who support the social media ban, teens who are pushing back, and mental health experts who say the situation is at a breaking point. CTV's Heather Senerin has local reaction.
As Canada's proposal for an under-16 social media ban becomes clear, some Waterloo Region residents say it's about time.
Doom scrolling, wasting time. I don't think they're getting as much personal and social growth as a human should.
The more they're online, the more they're exposed to all kinds of different, malicious things.
The Safe Social Media Act would force platforms to block access for kids under 16 and put new controls on those platforms and AI chatbots. For parents, the daily battle for control can be exhausting.
I won't let her post anything, but even the watching, I'm right next to her so that I can have some control over it.
But those who'd be affected most say a blanket ban misses the mark and could backfire.
I don't agree with it. I think it's stupid.
Some teens say kids will still find a way on.
They're going to see all their friends on like Snapchat or Instagram, and they're going to be like feeling left out.
I feel like putting more of like just like a screen time limit would probably be better than doing an overall ban.
While others see the benefits.
I think the amount of time people spend on their phone now is ridiculous. And I think social media has a lot to do with that.
And while the bill would allow exemptions for social media companies that can demonstrate they have sufficient safeguards for children, a local psychotherapist says she sees the attachment firsthand.
80%, I will say, a lot of them have a social media dependency, right? And even they have struggled to check in their messages during the sessions. Excessive use of social media is causing anxiety issues, depression, self-esteem, body image issues.
The measure targeting chatbots also resonating with mental health experts.
We certainly have had examples where a chatbot will assist someone in suicidal feelings or even putting a plan together that is really concerning and alarming. And without the proper guardrails in place and the proper monitoring, a youth can be left alone with those conversations.
Some say whatever it takes to get youth off their screens.
It's about building more spaces in schools for them to actually interact, force themselves to interact.
And participating more in human interaction. Heather Centerin, CTV News Kitchener.
Well, just ahead, a local teen making a difference in the medical world. CTV's Karis Map meets the student behind a science fair project geared toward helping patients with darker skin tones and why it's receiving national attention.
Plus, his company helped him buy his first home. Then an office relocation caused him to walk away. Now the employer wants their money back. The high-stakes dispute is coming up after the break.
Well, the muggy weather today is looking like it's going to creep into the overnight hours as well. Just how much rain is expected to come with it? I'll have those details with your full forecast coming up.
An engineering firm with an office in Guelph turned heads when they began offering workers up to $20,000 for a down payment on their first home. Now, one former employee is speaking up because the company wants its money back after the office he reported to moved cities. So he decided to leave. CTV's Spencer Turcotte's been speaking with both sides on this matter and joins us live. Spencer, why did he end up leaving the company?
Well, he says he bought a home in Acton using this money because it was close to the office he worked at in Milton. But when that office relocated to Burlington, he was no longer willing to make the commute.
J.S. Borley loves living in Acton.
It's a beautiful backyard, working on the grass. But yeah, we love it here.
He thanks his former employer, Crozier, for helping him buy a house. The engineering firm introduced a first-time homebuyers assistance program in 2021.
They'll give you up to $20,000 to purchase a house on the commitment that you stay there for 3 years. Without that, I don't think we'll be able to have done that.
And as long as the employee stays for the 3 years, the $20,000 doesn't have to be paid back. Jay Ash accessed the program in 2024. Things were going great, and he only had a short commute from Acton to the office in Milton. Then things changed in 2025.
The company made an announcement that they're going to actually be relocating the Milton office to Burlington.
Jay Ash felt that move went against the spirit of the retention program.
If I ought to have known, or if they would have informed me, I would have changed my decision to move to Acton.
He says it more than doubled his commute time and expenses, so he resigned from the company. But now Jay Ash says Crozier wants their nearly $20,000 back.
They have the claim amount here, that they also want to claim interest.
A statement from Crozier to CTV News says in part, all participants agreed to the program's terms before receiving any benefit, including a repayment provision if they choose to resign before those terms are met. Jayesh recognizes that he did leave before his term was up, but says,
the move contradicts the program that they have established. Well, I signed this agreement under the idea that they'll be staying in Milton. Never in anybody's head, or in at least my head, that they'll be moving this far away.
So in this case, a program designed to help employees put down roots is uprooting both sides in a potential legal battle. Since 2021, more than 40 employees have benefited from the program at Crozier, but the former employee we spoke with just wants people to be mindful of what can happen with these programs if an office relocation is in play. Tony.
Okay, Spencer, thank you. CTV's Spencer Turcott with that story. A teen from a Kitchener high school is helping make strides in the medical world when it comes to treating patients with darker skin tones. An experience her father had prompted her to take on a science fair project that's now just been recognized at a national level. CTV's Karis Mapp has the story.
Gernor Kaur may only be 17 years old, but she's not letting her age hold her back from changing the healthcare industry.
I was really interested in inequity because I think that often the devices we design are made for one group of population, and then we don't consider how they'll work on our diverse demographics.
Her latest work began from an observation she made after her father was hospitalized a few years ago.
Nurses were so overwhelmed that they struggled to monitor his vitals on a regular basis.
She developed a prototype in hopes staff would be able to detect heart rate without needing to put sensors on patients.
But when I started testing it on messier situations, so like with varying lighting or movement or darker skin even, it failed completely.
Which made her wonder what other technology is failing those with darker skin tones. And she found a similar scenario in blood oxygen sensors, a problem that wasn't new.
Pulse oximetry bias was discovered by Dr. Tobin in 1990. In darker skin, the oxygen saturation level is overestimated,
leading to higher mortality rates among dark-skinned patients. Back then, experts thought the bias was because of small sample sizes, which wasn't the case.
It's in the actual foundational math and physics that build up the signal models we've been using.
After developing a new algorithm, Kaur's research earned her the top prize at this year's Canada-wide science fair.
These are professionals who had looked at it for almost 30 years trying to figure it out and couldn't. She got the root cause of it and then identified a solution using algorithms that ultimately will be able to correct the devices that hospitals and people use around the world.
Her research already piquing the attention of industry professionals.
A large pulse oximetry company actually saw my project board and they got into contact with me. So I'm working with them to continue to get more data and test my algorithms out on their larger data sets to see if they work.
And in September, Kaur will head to Germany to participate in the European Union contest for young scientists. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
Another live look outside at downtown Kitchener, the fountains in front of City Hall at Carl Zare Square. A little bit of sun showing this hour, and it's been on and off all day when it comes to that sunshine, but we do have a threat of some more rain and storms moving in. Ashley's going to be back with all of those details in just a couple of minutes. Also ahead, holding the line on interest rates again. We'll have the Bank of Canada's latest read on the state of our economy. And the U.S. president said today he doesn't want to renew a trade deal with Canada. So where does that leave the relationship? That's coming up. Ashley's back with our forecast, and as much as we're talking about the disappearance of the sun versus last week, boy, that humidity is getting more and more noticeable. Ooh. When we left here last night after the late show, the air was just, it was so sticky. I don't think it's felt like that since last summer.
I agree. It is definitely the most muggy day we have had this year. It is sticky out there. It's uncomfortable for many folks. And
and here starts our seasonal whining about the humidity. But
I will never complain about summer.
That's true. But it was like a switch kind of got flipped on. Now, this past weekend, it was bearable and it was nice. But now we've sort of crossed the line into Humidex country, haven't we?
You got it, Tony. And you know what comes with Humidex is storm season, and we are in and amongst storm season, and we are going to continue to see some turbulent weather here in Waterloo region over the next couple of days. It's already affecting our neighbors south of us near Windsor, Sarnia area this hour, and we are going to continue to see on and off spotty showers over the next few hours, and of course into your Thursday. Let's get right to our alerts board. A severe thunderstorm warning currently currently in effect for the Windsor area, just down there in the orange. So if you are in that area, take immediate cover. It is going to be a bit dicey for a little while. Now that, fortunately, is not expected to last all night, but it is currently happening. It was just issued just a little earlier in the show. Right now as well, for Windsor, as well as the Sarnia area, everywhere in the yellow and orange is a heat yellow warning. So we are seeing potentially up to 31 degrees tomorrow, and that could feel closer to 41 with the humidex. So it is going to be another muggy hot day, and you definitely want to keep some water available every minute you can, because it is going to be one of those ones. As we take a look at what's happening with our futurecast, right now we're getting a bit of clearing through Waterloo region. A little bit of cloud cover expected over the next few hours, but by tomorrow morning, that's when things shake up right here. We are going to see some thunderstorm activity potentially around 6 a.m. Now that's going to continue to move out, but we will see on and off showers throughout your Thursday, overnight into Friday, and again Friday morning. So it is going to still be another few days of this weather, ups and downs with this weather. As we can look at what's happening across the country right now on the west coast, 17 degrees in Vancouver, 19 in Prince George. On the other side of the Rockies, 16 in rain in Edmonton. As we push further east, Saskatoon also 16 and rain, Thompson a bit of rain as well, and 14. Moving further east towards our nation's capital, you're seeing thunderstorm activity as well. Ottawa 24 degrees, 32 in Windsor. That hasn't quite populated yet, but it will be a thunderstorm activity there as well. 26 in Montreal, and on the east coast, just 8 in St. John's. Here in Waterloo region, 25 degrees, but feeling much closer to the mid-30s with the humidex. Now, overnight tonight, we're not getting much of a break. 19 is the expected low with a westerly wind of 20 kilometers an hour, so it will be a bit uncomfortable through the overnight hours. 28 tomorrow is our expected daytime high with a UV index of 9, so a very high UV index as well. So it will continue to be hot and muggy once again into your Thursday. As we get a closer look at our 7-day forecast, that rain, as mentioned, expected to move into your Friday as well. Temperatures remaining high. It will not be 89 degrees on Sunday. I don't know why it's saying 89 degrees. Oh my goodness. I promise you it will not be that hot, so don't panic, anyone at home.
It might be 89 Fahrenheit. Like, that might actually work out.
It could. We do share this system, so it could very much just have taken a turn, as we say. But panic not, it will not be 89 degrees.
That's a throwback high temp.
Yes. In the Windsor area, you might see some more thunderstorm activity tomorrow, 31, 30 for Friday, 29 on Saturday. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, 19 for your Thursday, 25 in showers on your Friday, and a beautiful Saturday ahead. Okay, let's look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in by Derek, and this is Guelph Lake, I believe. Yes, and it is perfect for a paddleboarder, and he says no wind, no snow, or no wind, no snow, of course, no waves, and of course just warm and beautiful temperatures.
That's gorgeous.
Isn't it gorgeous?
The colors are striking.
You know, I have never paddleboarded Guelph Lake, but this picture has inspired me to do so this summer.
You should.
I will.
You should.
I guarantee you I will.
And speaking of temperatures, isn't that funny? Because I couldn't tell you the temperature in Celsius inside my home, but I know that I like it to be 68 when I'm sleeping.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's cool.
that is cold.
Yeah. So that 89 kind of meant something to me there today.
Well,
it said hot.
It's going to be warm, but not that hot,
not
I
89
promise.
degrees. Yeah. Thanks, Ash.
Thanks, Tony.
Well, Donald Trump signaled today he's not looking to renew a trade deal with Canada, adding, as he has said before, that the U.S. doesn't need anything Canada has. His comments come as the Prime Minister was briefing premiers on the status of CUSMA trade talks. Here's CTV's Abigail Beeman.
Well, I'm not looking to renew it.
Donald Trump says he's not interested in renewing the North American Free Trade Pact as Canada pushes for a full 16-year extension.
I don't know that I'm going to renew it because, to be honest with you, the United States does much better. Hey, we don't need anything that Canada has. We don't need anything that Mexico has, but they need everything that we have. And they have to treat us better.
The comments come on the heels of Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc's trip to Washington to meet with his counterpart, Jameson Greer.
I'm eternally optimistic, Abigail.
And Ontario Premier Doug Ford's attempt at a charm offensive in D.C., meeting 20-plus business leaders and lawmakers.
They rolled out the red carpet for us. They treat us so well.
The July 1st deadline for a CUSMA review now just weeks away, but trade experts and Canadian government officials alike trying to calm concerned stakeholder nerves that passing that deadline with no deal doesn't mean CUSMA falls apart, and Americans haven't signaled an intent to tear it up. But uncertainty is a real problem.
We've seen it so many times now. We know this is just how this guy talks in public. We know this is just the way he thinks he negotiates. Creates the specter that he's going to walk away from CUSMA.
No official comment from LeBlanc's office nor the Prime Minister's office, but Mark Carney has said several times he won't comment every time Trump speaks. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
And all of that on the same day that the Bank of Canada announced it's staying the course on interest rates. Here's CTV's Rachel Aiello.
The uncertainty surrounding the fate of Canada's trade deal with the U.S. and the impact the war in the Middle East is having on global energy prices are among the main reasons for the central bank's decision. Today, Governor Tiff Macklem announced the Bank of Canada is holding the policy interest rate at 2.25%. Beyond global factors, Macklem cited a soft domestic economy as a contributing factor. But when asked whether he thinks Canada is in a recession, Macklem said that isn't the word he'd use.
Based on the data we've seen to date, the economy is weak, but it is not clearly in recession. There's been a lot of volatility, month to month, quarter to quarter. But when you look through the bumps, the economy hasn't really grown in the last year, but it hasn't shrunk either.
The central banker said economists typically define a recession as a significant contraction in economic activity that lasts more than one quarter. And in his estimation, that's not what Canada is experiencing so far. Despite what Macklem said today, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre continued to criticize the government for what he's calling a, quote, liberal recession. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Inspiring students to consider a career in sheep farming. Still ahead, how a high school class aims to address gaps in the industry. Chances are if you order lamb at an Ontario restaurant, it wasn't raised in Ontario. There is more demand for it than there are farmers raising sheep. But a new program in Huron County aims to change that. CTV's Scott Miller reports.
When we process lambs out,
Michael Richards is looking for a whole lot more future farmers to join him in raising sheep in Ontario.
We as producers are only meeting 30 to 35% of the demand. So Ontario Sheep Farmers' new initiative is we want to meet the demand by 50%. We want to grow our industry to 50% of the demand by 2040.
Richards was one of the sheep farmers in Clinton recently, trying to educate nearly 50 students taking the specialist high skills major in agriculture about the advantages of an industry very few Ontarians and very few farmers, for that matter, are aware of.
I've come up from a cattle family, and I find that sheep are easier, they're easier to manage. I can do a lot of it myself with minimum efforts from outside help.
While Huron and Perth counties have a large rural component, most farms are highly specialized, raising one kind of animal or a handful of crops. The specialist high skills major course in agriculture is designed to expand those potential agri-food horizons.
We actually have a group from Goddard that are part of the hospitality and tourism. So they're more focused on the culinary aspect of it today. And so they're looking forward to the session with the chef in the kitchen where they'll get to prepare, it sounds like a high-end meal using the lamb.
Many of the out-of-class agricultural sessions, including ones with horses and beef cattle, have been happening at the Reach Center in Clinton.
We want to bridge that gap that's being created by biosecurity issues, where kids aren't really able to get up and be that close to animals anymore and understand their personality and their traits.
Richards just hopes he can entice one or two of these future farmers to give sheep a shot, because the sky is the limit for an industry that isn't coming close to meeting market demand.
With only meeting 30% of the demand, we're able to keep that ceiling as an endless ceiling of growth.
In Clinton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
All right, recapping our top stories now. Alexandra Hollick is in studio with us with the latest. The OPP officer who was killed in the line of duty yesterday being remembered in Kitchener.
Tony, before Tarun Bali joined the OPP, the 29-year-old worked as a bylaw officer with the city of Kitchener. He had only been with the force for 2.5 years, and while he was assigned to the Dufferin attachment in Orangeville, he had been working out of the James Bay attachment. Bali was killed while trying to stop a vehicle in Hearst yesterday. The driver that hit him has been arrested and charged. We're learning more about the federal government's proposed social media ban for children under the age of 16. The bill would regulate companies behind AI chatbots by requiring them to act responsibly and lower the risk of those chatbots communicating harmful content. However, the bill does not offer a specific method to verify a user's age.
And turning now to our online coverage, Alexandra, a former Ontario junior hockey player sentenced in a child exploitation and trafficking case.
That's right, Tony. Dale Dion appeared in a Brantford courthouse today where he was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison after admitting to possessing and sharing child sexual abuse material and forcing a woman to perform sexual services for money. For a full breakdown of the case and more details on the story, visit our CTV News app or check it out on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Alexandra, thank you. CTV's Alexandra Hollick in studio with us tonight. The World Cup kicks off tomorrow, 6 games in Toronto, but the spillover's already being felt nearby, like in Alliston, where the Panamanian national team has set up its base camp. CTV's Rahim Ladani reports.
Practicing on the pitch, Team Panama will play their first World Cup match in Toronto next week. But right now, they're about an hour and a half north, and the players see this as an advantage.
He considers it an advantage to be isolated because it will help the team in their concentration.
Nottawasaga Resort and Conference Center is known for 36 holes of landscaped golf. But this family-run business in Alliston has been transformed into a world-class training facility.
The grass is a Kentucky bluegrass mixture.
Each blade of grass, the sprinkler system, and pipes underground have all been upgraded over the past 8 months to meet FIFA's meticulous standards. Water samples have even been sent to Miami to test the drainage.
There was a lot of questionable moments throughout the winter, just looking for opportunities that the weather was cooperative and try to work with Mother Nature to get the work done that we had to do.
From private player rooms to a workout facility and a space to have some fun, the resort has been converted into Team Panama's base camp. It's the only one in Ontario, and a true sense of pride for the family who first purchased this land as a sod farm in 1959.
We're super proud to carry on the legacy of our family history, of our father building this pitch. Again, why do we have a soccer pitch? It's for the love of soccer. That is as simple as it could be.
This isn't the first time Nottawasaga Resort has been part of the World Cup. In 1994, Team Germany stayed here, as have Canada's men's and women's teams, bringing a unique excitement to the town of New Tecumseh. This local pub on Victoria Street is expecting a big boost in business and even leaning in as honorary Panamanians.
For Panama's first game, we're actually going to throw a watch party just to show support, the fact that they're staying in town. Every single person I've talked to has at some point or another mentioned Team Panama staying here.
And local residents will also get the chance to watch Team Panama up close as the team holds a community practice later this week. Rahim Ladani, CTV News, New Tecumseh.
And many people will be tuning in as the World Cup kicks off tomorrow, with matches continuing till July 19th. So what does it take to get all that coverage to a screen near you? Andrea Case with a behind-the-scenes look at TSN's preparations for the network's biggest World Cup yet. It's the eve of the World Cup, the biggest sporting event on Earth. And throughout the tournament, TSN is carrying all the action. CTV's Andrea Case went behind the scenes to show you how the network plans to deliver its non-stop coverage.
The hard work never stops. Team Canada's men's national soccer team's road to the 2026 FIFA World Cup has been years in the making. The same could be said for the team at TSN, led by executive producer Ken Bolden.
Year and a half before Qatar, so 5.5 years.
The Saskatoon native has been at TSN for 3 decades.
Was always passionate about sports, grew up playing every sport, but realized fairly soon that this was not going to be, like most people, it was not going to be my calling, but loved it. But also I think sports is a great palette to tell human stories.
From Toronto to Vancouver, from a real set to a virtual set, technology plays a huge part in TSN's coverage of FIFA World Cup. 13 games will be held in Vancouver, another 13 will be held in Toronto, 13 in Mexico, and 78 in the U.S. At 39 days, this tournament will be bigger and longer than ever before.
104 games. To put in context, the Qatar World Cup was 64 games total. And at 64 games, we're going to still be in the group stage. So it is a massive undertaking. For most of the group stage, we have 4 games a day. Some starting as early as 12 noon, some starting as late as 12 midnight Eastern. So, you know, we have multiple crews working in operations and our editorial crews. But yeah, it's buckle up time. It's long haul.
No pressure?
Yeah, there's pressure. It's awesome. No, I think we're all nervous, and I think that's a good thing. It makes us sharp and something that is different. This is different, and so I think we embrace that.
Tune in to TSN, Crave, and CTV for all the excitement. Andrea Case, CTV News.
If your favorite sport takes place on the green and not on the pitch, this is also a big week. The RBC Canadian Open tees off tomorrow in Caledon with some of the biggest names in golf. Here's CTV's John Musselman.
Some of the biggest names in professional golf are here to take part in the RBC Canadian Open. TPC Osprey Valley North Course is hosting this year's event. Today is Pro-Am Day, a chance for players to get a feel for the fairways and greens and a chance for golf fans to get up close and personal with some of their favorite players.
It's cool because I always watch them on TV and wonder what it'd be like to see them in person.
This is my first time coming to one of these events. It's really cool because you can see the ball and stuff.
I got Nick Taylor and I got Dustin Rose.
Nick Taylor, wow, the Canadian?
Yeah. So
what are you going to do with this?
I'm going to frame it in my room.
And I just got one right on my flag just 5 minutes ago.
And it's not just the kids who are excited. We met lots of adults who are thrilled to be out here.
We love coming out here because it's all about Canada, and it's a beautiful place, and it's in nature, and it's so clean, and you can get close up to all the golfers.
I come with my dad every year, something to look forward to. You can watch golf on TV, but when you actually come here and see these guys hit the ball, there's just nothing like it.
The field includes 156 professionals and amateurs. Big names like Koepka, McIntyre, Rose, and Fleetwood are here. So too are more than 20 Canadian players, including Mackenzie Hughes, Nick Taylor, Adam Hadwin, and Mike Weir.
This is the best field that we've had in the last 20 years. With 15 of the top 50 in the official world golf rankings, we got more in-year winners, we got more FedEx Cup champions than we've had ever before. It's going to be a great week.
There is a huge merchandise tent on the property offering everything golf related. The Canadian Open was first played in 1904. It's the third oldest national open championship. Round 1 begins Thursday morning. John Musselman, CTV News in Caledon.
And Ash, perhaps, Caledon's not that far away. They might have to be watching the radar over the next several days.
Oh, you got it, Tony. If you've got a tee time in Waterloo region early tomorrow morning, you might want to rebook. We look like we're in for another storm. I'll have more details after this break. Start your night off with E-Talk, followed by The Big Bang Theory. Then at 8, The Floor, and then FIFA World Cup 2026 Countdown Concert at 10:30. FIFA Stories from the City.
Yeah. Well, are we back?
Yeah,
we
I
are
guess
back.
so.
My goodness.
Tony and I are pretty good at talking.
Caught us off guard there. Wake up weather.
Yes.
Going to be a rainy one. At least a good chance of it overnight and into the morning.
And a really good chance for a thunderstorm first when we wake up. So around 6 a.m., we could see a thunderstorm moving through. We are likely going to see at least some rain activity through that time period, even if it's not thunderstorming. But as you can see, warm again.
Yep. Humidity sticking with us. Well, finally for us tonight, an award-winning Six Nations music artist brought middle school students from across Waterloo region together this morning in the name of tunes and tradition.
Love it. Logan Stats led a songwriting workshop at Sunnyside Public School in Kitchener with a focus on music as medicine. Have a listen.
They don't keep
own journey.
This is such an awesome opportunity to have Logan Statz, who's a Mohawk songwriter, come in and speak with students, talking about music as medicine. He's sharing a little bit about his experience and walking students through the music making process and how music can really help people to overcome challenges in their lives.
I never wanna let you go.
It's just really valuable to have students see their cultures reflected in their learning experiences.
Does anyone want to shake it with me? I feel like when I was young, artists from my community were able to inspire me. So my goal is to just like to try to do that, you know, in some way, shape, or form. When working with kids, you know, it's sometimes a tough crowd. You know, but there's always a couple, you know, that are really, really dialed in, that are, you can tell have that connection to music, you know, so I always kind of enter these places like if I can help one or two kids get inspired by music, get them to pick up a guitar, then I've done a good job. This starts before we were young and we were burning bright, yeah.
I'm kind of like freaking out because Logan is my favorite singer. I just love seeing like other Indigenous people do their hobbies and what they like.
I feel like this was really important just to like learn more about him and his tribe and like what he went through.
To me, this being here with the kids and the next generation is really, really what feeds my soul.
It's a beautiful look at how music can connect people, inspire people, nostalgia. I mean, there's so much power to it.
Absolutely. Music is medicine in so many ways, and what a great role model to pass on his knowledge and experience to the next generation.
Yeah, that looked like a great time and, you know, something they'll take forward with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
As
Kudos, Logan.
well. All right, that's our time. Thanks for checking in with us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.